To the New York Mets, the Phillies come in 2 games over 500. The Mets right at 500. And Jerry Manuel's starting lineup has Alex Cora leading it off at shortstop. Daniel Murphy, the first baseman, hits second. David Wright is over at third base, batting third. Gary Sheffield is the cleanup batter. He's in right field. Ryan Church, the center fielder, hits fifth. Fernando Tatis makes the start at second base. He'll bat sixth. Nick Evans in left field hits seventh. Brian Schneider does the catching tonight. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth at pitching is right-hander Livan Hernandez. And they'll be opposed tonight by veteran right-hander Rodrigo Lopez, making his first start in a Phillies uniform. He made 13 starts down at Lehigh Valley and Wheels. He threw a lot harder when he was with the Orioles. Now he relies on control more than anything else.
Yeah, it's one of those recon nights. Nobody knows what they're going to get here tonight. The Phillies don't know. The Mets don't know. We don't know. So it'll be fun to watch Rodrigo Lopez. That's what we think you're going to see here tonight. Fastball topping out in the high 80s with some movement. Cutter, changeup, slider. He's a lot like Livan Hernandez in that he does anything he can to try and beat you. Won 10+ games 3 times with the Orioles, and he's coming off 3 real good starts with the Lehigh Valley club before being called up. That's the reason why he's here tonight, because he was pitching so well down there. Time now for our Key State Chrysler Jeep Keys to tonight's game. Boy, it's really nice here at Citizens Bank Park. Hey, it's the Phillies and the Mets. Not any hype from us. These two teams like to go at each other, and it's time to start winning some games here. Probably use that a few other times this year, but it's getting to the point where it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, the Phillies are 13-22 here at Citizens Bank Park, and they're trying to figure out as a team why their record is so poor here at Philadelphia. And we're underway. The first pitch is high to Alex Cora, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Cora playing shortstop tonight. He has played shortstop. He's played second base. He has bounced around the middle of this infield for the New York Mets.
He'd been one of the guys that's held it together for them. You know, the Phillies have their problems. Boy, the Mets really have been decimated, and they're right there with the Phillies. So it shows you they've been playing a little bit better baseball, even though neither one of these teams could say they've been playing very well.
Yeah, both teams struggled in the month of June. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cora. The Mets won 9 games in June. The Phillies won 11 games in June. And you know, Jerry Manuel a few days ago said that his team needed some potential power help through a trade, but then he changed it a couple days later and said, nope, this is what we got, and this is what we're going to go after the division with. And you see the records for the 2 teams in the month of June. The Phillies 11-15, the Mets 9-18. You know, both averaging less than 5 runs per game, and both ERAs for the staff have been high. And there's a line drive right back to Rodrigo Lopez. And if he wasn't ready for his first major league start here in 2009, that certainly woke him up.
He threw a changeup or a sinker, something down and away that was sinking and kind of slow. Take a look at it. It's a changeup. You can see by the grip there. Yeah, that'll wake you up. Right back at him.
So 1 away here at the top of the first inning. Here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy hitting .245 for the Mets.
The only thing so far is he's throwing a lot of high fastballs, and I don't know whether he means to do that or not, but that will not be a good way to pitch in this park.
Daniel Murphy started the season as the left fielder for the New York Mets, and now he's moved over to first base with the absence of Carlos Delgado. And 2-1 the count to him. Lopez for his career is 65-65 in the major leagues with an ERA of 4.80. As Wheels mentioned, he won 10 games, at least 10, 3 different times with the Baltimore Orioles. In fact, in those 3 seasons, he won 15, 14, and 15. So he had some success with the Orioles. And the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Sam Perlaza knows him really well. He had him when Sam was with Baltimore. And there you see Lopez career first half, second half, pretty similar really. And you know, he said he probably threw a little bit harder than he will now, but he always had an idea of how to pitch, and he really couldn't say much on what you could expect here tonight. He just didn't know.
In the air to left field, it's shallow. Jimmy Rollins out, Greg Dobbs in. There's a lot of balls off the bat of Daniel Murphy that go right into that area. And they're 2 away.
That's a pretty good sinker he just threw. That was one of those fastballs that went down. maybe he's throwing 4-seam and 2-seam, and the high ones are 4-seamers. Because that ball has some real good sink to it, and it was 90 miles per hour.
So 2 outs here at the top of the first. Lopez will now go to work against David Wright, who's second in the league in hitting with a .338 batting average.
Now you might see a slider cutter or something from Lopez. All he's thrown so far is fastball changeup.
And a pop-up first base side. Ryan Howard is over into foul territory. And how about this for an easy first inning for Rodrigo Lopez? Sold-out crowd here in Philadelphia likes that one. So after the top of the first, it's the Mets nothing and the Phillies coming up. Annual starting lineup for tonight's ball game. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino, the center fielder, bats second. Chase Utley's over at second base once again, hitting third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Jason Worth is the number 5 batter. He'll be in right field. Greg Dobbs makes another start in left field. He bats sixth. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, hits seventh. Paul Bacco does the catching tonight, batting eighth. And of course, Rodrigo Lopez hits ninth, and he's doing the pitching for the Phillies. And they're facing veteran Livan Hernandez, who is now 34 years old, 5-3 with a 4.04 ERA. And he has spent a lot of time in the big leagues just tricking people.
That's what he does, Tom. And the Phillies haven't seen him for a while because, you know, they've been in the other league. And now here he comes back to Philadelphia. I mean, 82, 86. Curveball he'll throw between 62 and 77. He's all about location, changing speeds, and he could care less how many pitches he throws.
Well, facing Jimmy Rollins, who broke an 0 for 28 slump in last night's game against the Braves. A couple base hits, and Jimmy rips one down the right field line. That's going to be in for a base hit. He's flying around first. He's going to get to second base, and J-Roll leads this ball game up with a stand-up double.
I asked Charlie Manuel before the game, you know, if one thing jumped out at him that he thinks is going to help him that he did the other night, and here it is right here. Look where he's standing. He's really close to the plate, and he started to do that in the game last night. He tried to move up a little bit closer to the plate, and you know, we used to always talk about Jimmy. He looked like he was right on top of it, and last night they said he did that for the first time. You know, he just didn't really want to do it. He did it last night. Hit 4 balls hard, and he hits one hard tonight.
Well, it's the back foot that's close to the plate, and then the front foot can open up a little bit more.
Well, Charlie said in his opinion that was one of the reasons. But, you know, I said, well, you know, why didn't they do it before? He says, well, they've been working on it.
Yeah. A lot of times it takes a veteran a long time to give up his habits, his old habits, for some new ones. So a leadoff double for Jimmy, and Shane Victorino's ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Shane hit .212 on the road trip, and he bunts this one foul. It's not a bad idea just to get J-Roll over to third with less than 2 outs.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. Is you know, whether that's a sign or whether he did it on his own, we don't know. But he's doing everything he can to try and get him over and try and get an early run if possible.
See Shane, excuse me, riding a 5-game hitting streak. Some of the Phillies were talking about the 3-game series against the Braves and how the Braves were playing an awful lot of small ball where they'd get a runner at second and they moved that runner over to third very easily. And a line drive base hit to center field. Church is on it quickly. Jimmy had to wait to see if it was caught, so he'll stop at third. And the Phillies with back-to-back hits against Livan Hernandez. And they've got runners on first and third here at the bottom of the first inning.
Livan Hernandez is like a lot of great veteran pitchers. You want to get them early because they can really settle down and get into a groove. Sometimes in the first inning they're not quite ready to go. They don't have their location, and you can get them a little bit. He showed bunt on the first pitch and then humpback liner into center. And Jimmy Rollins does the proper thing there. You just freeze with nobody out. See him watch. He'll turn, freeze, go to third.
So nobody out for Chase Utley. Chase had, next to Jason Worth, the best road trip statistically for the Phillies. With all of his at-bats, he was 11 for 35. He hit .314. And the Mets will play the infield back so the Phillies can get a run here in the bottom of the first inning with a ground ball.
Yeah, they're going to play for double play. And you know, they're going to try and get 2 outs and give up a run. Chase Utley's hit the Mets well this year, especially up at that big ballpark in New York.
Yeah, overall for his career, he has 20 home runs against the Mets. And he pulls one right side under the glove of Murphy into right field, a base hit. Jimmy scores. Over to third goes Victorino. 3 straight hits for the Phillies. And just like that, they're on top 1-0.
Well, Hernandez got what he wanted. He wanted to get a ground ball, maybe for a double play. And Chase Utley, that baby had eyes. Right under the ground, or under the glove of Murphy over there at first base, who's a first baseman in progress. You get the feeling that Casey Kochman would have taken that and turned it into a double play after what we saw in Atlanta for 3 days. But Murphy went for it and went right under his glove.
So still nobody out. 1-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the first inning. And here's Ryan Howard. And again, they'll line the infield to try to turn 2, and they'll allow another run to score. Livan Hernandez and Brian Schneider, who were teammates with the Washington Nationals and the Montreal Expos, they know each other quite well. They have a brief meeting in front of the mound.
Yeah, they're just trying to stay out of a big inning right now, are the Mets. And Cora is moving around at the shortstop. Now he's a little bit to the left of second base. And David Wright, of course, off the line at third.
Ryan third in the league at RBIs with 60. And he takes one outside for a ball.
Hernandez loves to do that early in the count to a left-handed hitter, and that's trying to throw something away, either backdoor him. I think he threw a changeup there, something slow, and try and get ahead that way.
2-0 to count. Then he tried to go in the outer edge of that plate, backdoor him with a pitch, and he falls behind.
Backed up changeups there, and both of them off the plate, and Brian Howard didn't bite. That's a perfect pitch for a pitcher to throw to get the guy to turn it over into a double play.
The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Bill Duncan of Philadelphia. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's game, then Bill will win $300. Introducing McCafe coffees at McDonald's. A new line of lattes, mochas, and cappuccinos. 3-0 the count to Ryan Howard. And he gets the green light, and it's 3-1.
And he won't get a fastball either, not from Hernandez. Threw him a 3-0 slider. And he got all different speeds on his breaking ball. Watch this one. Just a little spinner coming up there with good dive to it.
Ball 4. The Phillies have the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first inning.
Never threw him a fastball. Changeups and sliders the whole time.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Pirates have put a 4th spot on the board against the Florida Marlins. They're in the bottom of the third inning. Moss and Vasquez have both homered. Marlins have actually lost 5 of their last 6 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Phillies will see the Pirates on the back end of this homestand.
That's when the Marlins were so red hot at the beginning of the year. They went out to Pittsburgh and they swept them, and then they went home and the Phillies came into Florida and swept them.
Jason Worth, the batter, with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first, and he's ahead 1-0. Jason, for his career, is hitting .309 against the Mets with 6 home runs. He does have 1 grand slam in his book. Nice play by Schneider. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, this rivalry produces an awful lot of Mets fans here in Philadelphia, just like it does the same up at Citi Field, where the Phillies fans travel well up to Queens. Hey, though, looking out, it looks like there's a lot more red than there is blue, which is a good sign.
Yeah, there's a heavy wind blowing out to right tonight, by the way. Oh, look at that pitch. That's what he does. I mean, he falls behind, he pitches backwards. In batting practice, it was flying out of here to right and right center with that wind. Livan Hernandez, he doesn't like to give in with fastballs when he's behind the count. He just throws it like a frisbee up there.
2-2 the count now to Jason. Charlie Manuel has stacked his lineup with 6 left-handed hitters, counting the 2 switch hitters. Lefties are hitting just .255 against Livan. Righties are hitting .319 against him, but I got the feeling that Charlie preferred to have the lefties in there against Livan Hernandez and the right-handers.
Yeah, well, they want to get after him here in this first inning, so you don't want to let him settle down, because when he does, then he seems like he can throw any pitch he wants for a strike when he wants to throw it. Right now he's missing with a lot of stuff because he's not quite there.
And a breaking ball and a slow one, and Worth is down on strikes for the first out.
That's what he does. That was in the 60s probably. Yep, 63. 2-2 with the bases loaded, so it throws a 63-mile-an-hour curveball. I mean, that doesn't give you an indication what you see with Livan Hernandez. I don't know what does. He'll throw anything at any time.
You know what, Two Wheels, if Worth had let that go by, that might have been strike 3 called.
Oh, I agree. That was a strike. But he was so far out in front because he hadn't seen anything like that.
Livan, much like his half-brother Orlando Hernandez, they rely on that slow curveball. Now Greg Dobbs will bat with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first inning. And Dobbs takes one outside, 1-0. Home plate umpire is Jim Joyce. He's the crew chief this evening. Bill Miller's over at first. Ed Rapuano's at second base. Adrian Johnson's over at third. And Jim Joyce was the first base umpire the night that Greg Dobbs thought that he had won a ball game against the Boston Red Sox here at Citizens Bank Park. And Jim Joyce called the ball foul.
Yeah, he was the umpire that called it foul, and then of course they did not request a replay.
And still to this day, it bothers Charlie Manuel that they didn't at least look at that ball. Partly because they looked at a ball in Tampa that they weren't supposed to look at. 1-1 the count to Dobbs. Cue shot, and Hernandez is ahead 1-2.
84 fastball.
Well, we see it so often with Jamie Moyer that kind of pitching can lead to success. And for Livan, he's won 152 games in his career, and this year he's induced the opposition into 15 double play groundouts.
Yeah, he shouldn't be a strikeout pitcher at this point in his career, but ground ball double plays, you can sure see that the way he gets hitters to get out front and turn things over.
Curveball served the opposite way. Coming on is Nick Evans. He dives. He can't get it. He kicks it away. Victorino scores. Here comes Utley. Here's the throw to the plate. It's wide, and the Phillies take a 3-0 lead. And the Phillies got a break because Evans decided to leave his feet on that play, and he kicked the ball away a few feet. And that enabled Chase Utley to score. Yeah,
not good defense at all there by the Mets. Very good base running by Chase Utley, and he even hesitated coming towards third. Hernandez made a great pitch on Dobbs. Greg served it into left field. Here's what happens, as Tom said, he dives for it, then kicks it away, and Utley had a little stutter step, as you saw there, coming into third. They sent him anyway, Sam did, and the throw was wide.
So here's Pedro Feliz, still one man down here in the bottom of the first inning, and the Phillies leading at 3-0.
Good job by Greg Dobbs to make contact on a tough pitch. He tried to backdoor him and strike him out looking there.
Pedro on the road trip was 8 for 33. He did drive in 6 over the 9 games. And he's got a couple runners on base here with one out in the bottom of the first inning. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. His batting average with runners in scoring position is dipped to .324 because he has just those 3 hits in his last 26 at bats. And ball 4, second walk of the inning for Livan Hernandez, and the bases are loaded again. Well, during the 2009 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
That was Dan Worthen out to talk to him, and I don't know what you say to Livan Hernandez because he does a lot of this stuff. You know, he'll decide who he wants to pitch to. He'll put runners on. He'll put guys on thinking he can get a double play out of the next guy. He's just been really successful with it throughout his career. No, I'm not saying he wants to pitch with the bases loaded, but look at that expression. It's not going to bother him. He's ticked off at himself more than anything. He's always been a great teammate. Players talk about him, and very coachable, but they leave him alone for the most part.
Bacco takes one for a strike.
You know, because he knows what he's doing. So they'll basically leave him alone and sit back and put on their seatbelt.
There's Carlos Ruiz. He's got his seatbelt on tonight because Paul Bacco is making a start. Carlos is really struggling offensively.
You see Hernandez right now. It's almost like he figured, you know, I'm going to try and nibble with Feliz, and I'd rather get the next guy, even though the bases are loaded. And then the pitchers after that.
Bacco shoots it foul over the third base dugout. Paul Bacco hitting only .250 in a Phillies uniform. He's 2 for 8. And Livan Hernandez,
there you go.
13 first inning runs and 16 starts this season, counting tonight.
Yep, you want to try and get him early if you can.
Nice to get a couple more here against him.
Yep. Well, at least one, because you have a runner at third and less than 2 outs.
Maybe get a fly ball to bring him home.
Mm-hmm. Pitches already for Hernandez.
As Charlie offered some advice to Rodrigo Lopez, who only has 2 major league hits and 42 official at bats in the big leagues.
For a fastball, son. Look for a fastball and just try and hit it.
Maybe move up in the box, swing as hard as you can. Bacco stays alive. The count remains 1-2.
Let me tell you, Rodrigo, you throw harder than this guy. Charlie was interested to see what he could get from him tonight too, from Lopez. You know, it's one of those things. All you do is you take the recommendations of the minor league people and who they felt was throwing the best, and bring him up. Let him start tonight.
What Sam Perlazo did say the other day is that Lopez, I guess he was saying that he has a big heart, and you know, doesn't like to come out of games, battles his way through, and if he gets a chance to bat here in this inning, hopefully he gets a chance to battle with his bat.
Sam likes it. He made a point to go greet him right away tonight.
And Bacco's down on strikes, and they're 2 away.
There he goes. He threw him a changeup.
Hey, Phillies fans, during tonight's Phillies game, don't just watch, play along live online with Michael Barkan and Ricky Vitalico at CSNPhilly.com. Make predictions, answer trivia, chat with friends, ask Ricky if he could hit Livan Hernandez, and earn points to win great prizes. Play Friday Night Fever right now by logging on to CSNPhilly.com, keyword fever.
He could swing the bat. He didn't get a chance to hit that much because he was a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
But he was signed as a catcher who couldn't hit.
And it turned out to be a pretty good relief pitcher.
He had a great career, very good career.
See Lopez 2 for 42 for his career. Those 2 hits, both singles.
Ricky always wanted to get more at bats.
Little number foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Lopez. Rodrigo's amigos. I wonder if they traveled from Lehigh Valley for this ball game.
Rodrigo Lopez is from Mexico.
From a suburb of Mexico City.
Yeah, that's a tough name to pronounce. I don't even want to go there.
Two and two the count to Lopez.
Pitch counts are no big deal for Hernandez, but 30 coming up to pitch 36 here in the first inning. That's a lot, even for him.
Lopez reaches out, pokes it to second. Tatis is there, and the inning is over. So the Phillies get 3 runs in the inning, but they do strand the bases loaded. We've played 1. We head to the second. Phils lead at 3-0. It all began with Jimmy Rollins, continued with Shane Victorino, also with Chase Utley, and finally with Greg Dobbs. And tonight as we kick off the holiday weekend, and right behind them is that New Era Welcome Back Veterans commemorative cap flag, and it features all those Phillies caps, white, red, and blue, and both teams are wearing the commemorative caps this weekend with the stars and stripes on the logo. That's why you saw the Mets wearing the red caps instead of the black ones. Phillies, of course, wearing the normal red hats, but with the stars and stripes logo. Now the Phillies Stars and Stripes game cap is now available, worn throughout Major League Baseball this 4th of July weekend. Portions of the proceeds will help benefit Welcome Back Veterans. To order, stop by the Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park or call 877-GO-PHILS. That's 877-GO-PHILS. Top of the second, Rodrigo Lopez has a 3-0 lead to work with. Gary Sheffield leads it off, and he delivers a fastball inside. It's 1-0. Sheffield has 3 home runs lifetime against Rodrigo Lopez and 509 home runs for his career. It's sharply toward third. It's a fair ball. Backhanded behind the bag by Pedro, and once he gets it, his throws are usually right on the money, and there's one away.
Yeah, and he was playing him to pull. It looked like the 9th inning of a close game, guarding the line. And all it was just a pull defense on Sheffield, who just yanked so many balls down that third baseline. And as you said, Tom, he has such a strong arm, and he's so accurate, right over the top. And he throws 4-seamers over there as good as anybody.
So one ground ball out here in the top of the second. It brings Ryan Church to the plate. Church has gotten hot of late. His average is up to 292 with a couple of home runs and 21 RBIs.
He's had the game-winning hit in their last 2 wins, the 1-0 game and then the extra inning game yesterday. This is the 3rd game in 3 different cities for the Mets.
A looper toward left coming on is Dobbs, and he tries to make a basket catch, and he does. A shoestring basket catch for Greg Dobbs. Raul Ibanez liked that one. 2 away.
Yeah, Greg, it looked like he was going to catch it all the way and then started to maybe slow up a little bit and then reach down and grabbed it. Tough a play by him. Does he trap this? Oh, yeah. Oh, he did.
Well, he sold that pretty good.
There you go. Oh, boy. Got away with one there.
2 outs for Fernando Tatis.
That one happened. I mean, to the naked eye, I guess that happened so fast and it was so close to his glove that Razor shines down there at third base. The third base coach didn't see it.
Yeah, he probably didn't have a great angle at it where he was standing either because of where Dobbs had it. Base hit up the middle for Fernando Tatis. And it's the first hit of the night for the Mets. And it comes with 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd. By the way, we saw Raul Ibanez in the dugout for the Phillies, and you might be wondering, well, why is Raul not out in a rehab assignment? Well, he was examined by Dr. Michael Cicciotti, and his groin is getting better, but he's probably not going to do any rehabbing this weekend, which means that he's not going to be available for that Red Series. At least it looks that way. We don't know for sure. And they just want to get him right. As Nick Evans takes one for a strike to the knees. Evans with very few at bats here in the big leagues. He was hitting .276 in Double-A when the Mets brought him up. On the hands, should be an easy play for Utley. And 2 easy innings for Rodrigo Lopez. He strands a runner at first. He allowed his first base hit. When we return with the bottom of the 2nd, it'll be Jimmy Rollins leading things off. Ninth is a sold-out ball game, but there are seats still available for the first 3 games of the series. You can log on to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. All fans 14 and under on Tuesday. The 7:05 game will receive a Verizon Phillies beach towel. It's a great giveaway. And again, log on to Phillies.com. And speaking of the Reds, they now lead the Cardinals 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Chris Dickerson scored on a Joe Thurston error. Jimmy Rollins leads things off here in the 2nd, just as he did in the 1st when the Phillies scored 3 runs. And Jimmy doubled his first time up, so now he has three hits in his last 5 at bats.
Let me see what happened when he leads off the game with a double. The odds are you score.
And he lines one towards center field. Church coming on. He tries to make the backhanded grab and does. And one away here in the 2nd. Well, earlier tonight, as you saw from our open, we were out enjoying some ribs. I was out there with Sarge at Bull's Barbecue, and I didn't really have any ribs, but I did enjoy watching Sarge eat his dinner. And, well, Wheels, I don't know if you've seen Sarge's score sheet yet, but there it is. That, ladies and gentlemen, is barbecue, and Sarge wanted me to barbecue sauce. Sarge wanted me to give that to you.
That is disgusting.
What are you talking about?
That's awful.
Your friend had some barbecue sauce, and he wanted you to have some.
That's fine, but if he wants, if he wants to wipe his mouth with his scorecard, that's his problem.
Well, but if you get this signed, this is a keepsake.
I got enough of his stuff over the years. I don't need that. That's awful. But you know what? That's the best smelling scorecard.
It is the best smelling scorecard.
That thing really smells good.
Yeah, see all the smoke out there at Bull's Barbecue. Greg's out there signing some autographs too.
The scorecard looks awful, but
does smell good. Victorino sends one to the air to right center field, pretty deep. Church going back toward the warning track. He can't get it. It's off the base of the wall. Victorino flying around second. He's going to be at third. It's a one-out triple.
I think that gave you an idea. We talked about the wind tonight. The wind is really going to help the ball going out in that direction. And Church thought he had a shot at it, and then it just kept taking off on him. You see him, he'll change direction a couple times as he's going after it. He's an okay center fielder. They don't have Beltran. He did a really good job, actually. I mean, he found the wall, and he ran a good route to it. But the wind really picked that thing up and took it away from him. And Victorino could smell a triple right there.
Man, they have that speed. Look at him. That's explosive.
Just for 5 minutes, that would be fun. Wouldn't it, to see what that's like?
And not be tired after you're done.
Oh, yeah.
The infield is now in for the Mets with Chase Utley at the plate. Chase takes one low.
Boy, early to play the infield in, huh? Second inning.
And this is a tough hitter to play the infield in against, too.
Well, they've had their scoring problems, no doubt about it. And this is an indication of that. If you play the infield in the second inning, you're worried about scoring runs.
2 balls and no strikes the count to Chase. Chase had an RBI single his first time up. He also scored a run.
And Levon may pitch around him, decide, oh, well, let's take the infield back, and I'll try and get a double play ball on Howard or strike him out. You saw what he did with Feliz in the first inning. He just didn't want any part of him and decided he'd go after Baco. Got him. Yeah, he's going to make Utley get himself out here.
Chase with 53 RBIs now, and he's got a chance to drive in another one with Victorino at third. And Chase pulls it to right field. Sheffield's going back, makes the grab. Victorino tags from third. The throw is airmailed to the plate, and the Phillies lead it 4-0.
Well, nice job by Chase Utley. He got a 3-0 green light from Charlie Manuel. He got the ball in the air, and it took off out there to right field. Whether it was a strike or not, but he made good contact. See if Hernandez throws him a strike 3-0. Yeah, that's a strike. Good job by Chase. Victorino does the only thing you can do on that, and that's go back and tag up. Don't get caught anywhere else.
2 RBIs tonight for Utley. Here's Ryan Howard. Phillies lead it 4-0. And Ryan smokes one, caught by Tatis. That was sinking right off the bat because of how hard he hit it. And the inning is over. But Chase Utley gives the Phils a 4-0 lead with his second RBI of the game as we go to the third. information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, who holds the Mets record for hits in consecutive official at-bats? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Got any idea about that one,
No.
Wheels?
No, but we'll give it a shot later on.
You have no shot at this one. This person was a good hitter, but he would never pop into your mind when it comes to this.
Thank you.
Brian Schneider leads it off. It takes a strike.
So it's not Felix Millan or somebody like that.
No, but you know what? You're close.
Because Felix Millan could throw some hits together because he would make contact.
You're not close in the era, but you're close. Brian Schneider this season, as you saw, hitting .239 with a couple home runs and 17 RBIs. He's driven in some runs lately, 12 ribbies in his last 10 games.
Yeah, he had some 3-run homers, a couple of 3-run homers, I think, in that Yankees series. Oh, he's always killed the Phillies, too. Lehigh Valley native.
I think Paul Baca wanted that pitch there. It looked like a pretty good pitch. See his career numbers against the Phillies. It's those RBIs, though. In 104 games, and he draws a walk to lead things off here in the 3rd. And it brings Livan Hernandez to the plate. He's not your normal run-of-the-mill pitcher. And Lopez knows that.
Be interesting to see whether they play for a run here just to get on the board with Hernandez, who's an excellent bunter, or let him swing away and take the chance he might hit into a double play. Not getting a lot of hits this year, but what a hitter this guy has been.
Hernandez with 97 or 95, excuse me, sacrifices for his career, and he takes a pitch low. It's 1-0.
Yeah, at least on the first pitch, they're thinking that way, like let's see if we can just get a run and start feeling a little bit better about ourselves here. It's still early.
And Paul Bach goes out to the mound because after walking Schneider, he's now fallen behind 2-0 to Livan Hernandez.
Yeah, he kind of going right through the first 2 innings, and now all of a sudden here you go, you start to struggle with the 8 and 9 hitters, and this is how you get into trouble.
Lopez made his major league debut at the age of 24 back in 2000 with the San Diego Padres. And I have to admit, I didn't realize that. I thought he was a Baltimore Oriole through and through. And that's it for a strike. He went on to the Orioles, and that's where he picked up most of his numbers, his big league numbers.
And as a kid, of course, he idolized Fernando.
Yep, from Mexico. It seemed like every pitcher from Mexico idolized Fernando Valenzuela. 2-2 the count.
Well, it isn't necessarily a hotbed for baseball. It's more of a soccer country, Mexico. And when Fernando burst onto the scene, I think it made more and more kids play baseball in Mexico because he became such a hero.
Well, and it sounds strange, but Vinny Castillo also was a big hero there offensively. 2-2 the count. And he's swinging away, and he butcher boys it to shortstop. Gerald has one play, and it's to first. Up to second base goes Schneider. And it's time now for our Geico quote of the day. And it comes from Jerry Manuel, the manager of the Mets, on the Mets' chances. At least 4 teams in our division at this point still have to feel pretty good about their chances. I don't pay much attention to why the struggles. I just see the struggles and say, hey, okay, we've got a shot. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And he's right about the division and everybody having a shot. I mean, the first 4 teams are separated by only 2 games in the standings.
Well, the Phillies are the team that really had a chance to put some distance out there. And, of course, they went into that funk and let everybody right back in it.
Here's Alex Cora, who takes the first pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Actually, the Braves in that series, the Braves are 5 out and really scuffling. And now all of a sudden they sweep the Phillies and they're going, no, now we got a shot.
Well, 2 Manuals have had to deal with a lot this year here in this division. Charlie to your left has had to deal with Raul Ibanez being on the DL, and Brett Myers out for the season. Rod Lidge on the DL. Jerry Manuel has had to deal with Jose Reyes, Carlos Delgado, and Carlos Beltran all being on the disabled list.
It's a little bit of offense. They lost Maine. They lost Ollie. Oliver Perez, although Oliver Perez is getting close to coming back, evidently.
Well, here's the list of players on the disabled list for the Mets. And that bottom name right there, Billy Wagner, there's a chance he's coming back in August.
Yeah, that's the word, that they're going to get Billy Wagner back, and that would be a huge lift for him.
And the count remains 1-2 to Cora.
Billy coming off Tommy John surgery, and of course they would plug him into the 7th inning probably in that area. Start out. A really nice little short swing, and trying to find something he can handle, and he keeps fouling off some pretty good pitches from Lopez. This guy's always been a pretty good player. Cora. Brother was a nice player too. Joey Cora.
Line shot on one hop to Jimmy Rollins. They'll hold the runner at second, 2 away here in the top of the 3rd. Pretty comfortable play for J-Roll. And now Lopez trying to get himself out of this 3rd in front of a sold-out crowd. And it might sound strange, but that was one of the other reasons why the organization decided to go for Lopez. Not only because he's pitched so well, but you know, this is an intimidating place if you have never pitched here. You know, being sold out, Mets series. And they felt like he could deal with it, being a former major leaguer. A line drive towards center field. It's going to hang up there for Victorino, and the inning is over. So Lopez strands a runner in scoring position. We've played 2.5. He and the Phils are enjoying a 4-0 lead. And low financing, and by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. A beautiful night as we kick off the 4th of July holiday. Hope everybody has a safe, happy, and healthy 4th of July. And no better place to be than the ballpark as Jason Worth sends one to the air deep to left field. Back is Evans. Warning track wall. Does he have room? Gone! Right into the first row over the flower bed. A towering home run from Jason Worth. His 16th of the year. And the Phillies have now scored in every inning, but it's the first time they've gotten the bell rung. And Bill Duncan of Philadelphia, you've just won $300 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Well, Jason Worth came right out and looked for, that looked like a slider. He got it in the strike zone, did Levon, who struck him out with a curveball. The bases loaded, nobody out his first time up. That thing was way up in the air, and the wind was kind of knocking it down.
44 RBIs now for Jason to go along with those 16 home runs. Here's Dobbs, who has 2 RBIs tonight. I'll tell you, wow, this is a good sign. Just keep on tacking runs.
Yeah.
Tacking on runs against Livan Hernandez.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we mentioned, he can be one of those guys, you know, after he struggles a little bit, he can have some shutdown innings after that. And right now, they're throwing up runs against him.
Got to feel good for Jason too after striking out with the bases loaded his first time up.
Yeah, nobody out, and he threw him that 63-mile-an-hour hook. Took him to his knee, and he swung and missed. Lamont can make hitters look really bad.
There's that curved ball hit in the air to left center field. It's pretty deep, but it's playable. Ryan Church is there, so is Evans, and it's Church who makes the grab. And one away here in the bottom of the third. Pedro Feliz walked his only time up. Rips this one through the hole at shortstop. You know, the Phillies collectively have not hit that well against the Mets this year, but Pedro has. He came into this game hitting over .340 against the New York Mets this season.
He really knows Livan Hernandez too, because they were teammates in San Francisco. Livan, for some reason, threw him a first ball fastball, and that's always a no-no with Pedro. But Pedro's first time up, Livan pitched him as if he didn't want any part of it.
Paul Bacco struck out his first time up, and he's down in the count 0-1. We have 2 guys facing each other that have combined to play for 18 teams.
And Bacco the majority of them?
Yeah. Livan has played for now 7 teams, counting this year with the Mets. And Bacco, who lines one toward right field. Sheffield's not going to get that one. It's a fair ball, and it drops in for a base hit, and Sheffield bobbles it. Bacco hustling to second. He's there sliding. And the Phillies have runners on second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Mets had a pitcher get knocked out really early yesterday, Tim Redding, in that game in Pittsburgh, but they prevailed. They came back and won that game, even though they blew it in the 9th, won it in the 10th. And you wouldn't think they'd want to get a guy up early again tonight. Pitch was low and in the strike zone, down and in. He just kind of served it into the right field corner. As Tom said, Sheffield bobbles it, and then he takes the extra base. He had a shot at a double anyway.
So the infield is in now with Rodrigo Lopez at the plate. Whereas Utley is a tough hitter to play the infield in against. Lopez probably not as tough.
Yeah, this is they have to do this. Nobody up in the bullpen. Now, Hernandez can throw a ton of pitches in the game, and it doesn't bother him. So even if he's struggling like this, they're going to let him suck this up for a while because of the early exit of Tim Redding yesterday.
Pedro started breaking down the third base line. That brought David Wright in a little bit.
Thought maybe they're going to squeeze.
I would think it's, if you're Charlie, it's tough to ask Lopez to squeeze because he doesn't have a whole lot of major league at bats.
He just got here.
Or successful ones.
Yeah.
But he does have 42 major league at bats and 14 sacrifices.
Well, you have a 5-0 lead. You want to get Jimmy Rollins up there. You don't want to make anything go wrong here. Any way you could get a double play, like pop up a double play into a double play on a squeeze.
Chopper to short. Cora looks both runners back. He's nearly stole one right there.
Yep.
So 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. All-star voting isn't over quite yet. That's right. We didn't lie to you and say that it ended at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time last night. It did. But from July 5th to 4 p.m. Eastern time, July 9th, you can vote for the 33rd and final player for each major league team, or for each league roster, American League and National League. Go to Phillies.com and cast your All-Star game final vote for the final 2 All-Stars for the game in St. Louis. Again, it'll begin on July 5th. And who will be the extra player? And we will find out on Sunday which guys are the All-Star representatives this year. Who the starters are. Jimmy's 1 for 2 tonight. He's hit the ball hard both times. And he takes one for a strike, belt high. Jimmy doubled and scored in the first. And he lined one to center field his last time up. Ryan Church made a nice play on. And he hits one back toward the middle. Base hit it to center field. 1 run scores. Rounding third. Heading for him is Bucko. He's going to score. And how about Jimmy? Pulling it to second with nobody covering. And the Phillies lead it 7-0. And they're giving the opposition a taste of the medicine that they had on the last homestand.
Yeah, that was really a heads-up play, but Jimmy is really swinging the bat great in the last couple of games, whether it's on the plate or just confidence or whatever's going on. These balls are all hit hard. His out tonight was hit hard. That thing was hit right on the nose. Here it is. It looked like a changeup. He threw his glove at it. Now see, nobody's covering second. All the infielders are away from there. The first baseman is down there in the cutoff position. Nobody's there, and Jimmy right there as a middle infielder sees what's going on, and he takes that extra base. Good job.
So he's in scoring position. The Phillies lead it 7-0. It's 2 RBIs for Jimmy. They haven't told us, though, whether it's a double. They have just told us it's a double. So Jimmy has 2 doubles tonight. Victorino has a single and a triple. And he pops it up. Left side of the infield. David Wright is over. And the inning is over. But the Phillies score 3 more runs in the inning. The home run by Jason Worth. 2-run double by Jimmy Rollins. And they are clicking on all cylinders. It began this inning with Worth's home run. Hey, don't forget, when we come back, Sarge is all wrapped up with his ribs. Player reactions from the ballpark with Marshall Harris on Sloan Toyota presents Phillies post-game live after the game only on Comcast Sportsnet. Oh, Sarge, that little girl's enjoyed some ice cream just as you enjoyed some ribs before the ball game today. How about Bull's Barbecue?
Oh, 4th of July coming up, and you got to say Bull is, well, at the top of the list there on the contest for sure.
On the rib competition,
That
which Gary Maddox is hosting in August as we begin the top of the 4th inning.
Well, he had really nice taste on it, and I know Maddox does not like to. Gary Maddox doesn't like to put sauce on his ribs, but I got to tell you, Bull did a good job there and had extra long lines, as a matter of fact.
What happened to your score sheet, Sarge?
Here I am plugging Bull's ribs and Gary Maddox, and you're going to show this. People out there that know that I frequent different restaurants know that I don't eat like this. Okay, they will testify to that.
I'm sure. 2-1 the count to David Wright, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I'm glad you guys are having a lot of fun with that. With the 4th of July coming up, you know there's always a lot of barbecue ribs and chicken.
Right.
Potato salad.
There's a whole lot going on. As David Wright is down on strikes, and that's the first strikeout for Rodrigo Lopez. And 1 away here in the first. And speaking of barbecues and ribs and chicken, look at this technique. One end of the slab is done, and bam, there goes the other one. Go ahead, Sarge. Bam.
Well, you know what? You can just tell when I shake my head like that, I'm saying to myself, nothing's better than what I am doing exactly right now. And you notice, though, I'm not even looking up. I'm making sure. Oh, excuse me, fans. Don't do that at home. I'm telling you.
Gary Sheffield takes one for a strike in the knees.
Well, I mean, it's almost like I just tried to get it this way off, but it was a lot of sauce on those ribs, huh?
You also got a little bit on your shirt here. There's a spot there, spot on your collar, spot next to the Phillies Television Network logo.
Well, we've been wearing this shirt quite a bit. I haven't had a chance. Guess it's your favorite color, by the way. Oh, boy.
0-2 the count to Gary Sheffield. Phillies lead it 7-0. They scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in the third.
Yeah, well, it starts at the top there, Tom, and for sure, J-Rowe getting on and starting that engine, that's what they like.
Here is Jimmy, and that one's going to go right past him at shortstop, so Sheffield has a 1-out base hit. Well, Sarge, Rodrigo Lopez so far has allowed just 2 hits, 1 walk, and I guess he's done exactly what Charlie Manuel wanted, and that's throw strikes.
Well, his demeanor has been pretty good as you take a look at him, and he's been mixing his pitches up, trying to stay ahead of those hitters, getting ground balls. And again, pardon me, the guys haven't seen him maybe in a while, or a lot of these hitters, so usually it's advantage to the pitcher because hitters don't know the movement on different pitches that are thrown.
Ryan Church the batter, and Church takes one outside. He looped one to left field his first time up, and Greg Dobbs was credited with the out. A ball that, after we saw the replay, looked like it short hopped into the glove of Greg Dobbs.
Looked like it?
Yeah.
It was a short hop.
Yeah, it was.
Well, pretty hard to tell for the umpires when that is in full speed. They're running out trying to look at the play. Dobbs holding the ball up quickly, and that's what you're supposed to do to try and sell it. Good job. He's got late movement too, a little two-seamer. Doesn't throw very hard, and again he's up and down in the zone, in and out, trying to keep those hitters off balance, but more importantly, getting ground balls.
Fly ball there. That's going to drop in front of Dobbs for a base hit. Sheffield's going to stop at second. Now back-to-back hits for the Mets with 1 out here in the 4th. And that brings us to our Firestone leaders. And the Mets hitting .275 on the road this year, which is tops in the National League. Phillies are 4th at .264. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Overall, the Mets are hitting .273 as a team, which is also tops in the National League.
It just shows you, too, where the fighting Phils would be if they were hitting near that .270 range, which would mean they would have been hitting the ball and scoring runs.
Tatis to right field. Jason Worth glides back. First pitch swinging for Fernando Tatis, and Lopez has got 2 outs here in the 4th.
Pretty nice adjustment there. First time Tatis getting a hit up the middle. Ball was a little bit away, starting that ball over the middle of the plate, and it jammed it. Ball came back in on his hands.
Good breaking ball there, and the count is 0-1. Nick Evans flied out to Chase Utley his first time up. That finished up the 2nd inning. No balls and 2 strikes the count.
One pitch a slider. That pitch there a fastball as he tells it back over the outside part of the plate. Only time that becomes dangerous when you start it over the plate and it goes back to the barrel. That was a good pitch and had it in a great location.
Baco wants to go outside with this one, and Lopez tries to go outside a little high, and it's 1-2.
Paul Baco has always been a good receiver. Consider him more of a catch and throw guy as opposed to a hitter, as he's asking for a ball on the inside part of the plate. You want to make sure it's in if you're going in.
On the outside corner, called strike 3. 2 strikeouts of the inning for Lopez, and the Phillies fans are being introduced to this right-hander like what they have seen through the first 4 innings. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth due up. Midsize, drive one today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW. And by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies. There's that new era Stars and Stripes set of hats out there. And Phillies are wearing, along with the New York Mets, the Stars and Stripes caps tonight. That welcome back veterans commemorative flag that's out there in center field, or left center field, is going to be out there on Ashburn Alley throughout the course of this weekend. Chase Utley leads things off in the count 1-1. Sarge, there are 228 total caps that are featured on that display. There are 50 Phillies Navy caps with the white P. That's a sharp one. 94 Phillies Red Stars and Stripes game caps, and the 84 white Phillies caps that are out there. And they'll be out there all weekend through Sunday's ball game. Then you can purchase those caps at the Majestic Clubhouse store, and proceeds go to the Welcome Back Veterans Organization. 2-1 pitch is pulled toward right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And Sheffield falls on his fanny as Utley stops at first. That's his second hit of the day.
Utley continues to do what he does best. That's hit the ball hard. It's been consistent just about the whole year long. Starting the game, hitting 300. There's that compact swing there as he pulls that ball on the outside part of the plate. That's why you see so many guys that planning to pull, and you see that ball going the other way. Sheffield kind of goes on and sit down a little.
Ryan Howard's 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. He lined out to second his last time up. And Ryan now has gone 37 at bats since his last home run.
He'll get hot with them again. You got to have a pretty good foundation, and he's been off a little bit with his stroke, swinging at some bad pitches. But power hitters, they go through those type of streaks. As great a player as Mike Schmidt was, I mean, he would go through the same thing, and a guy that actually never hit 300 during the course of his career, although he did try and claim on the strike year. I let him know that it wasn't 300 because it wasn't a full year, although he had 30 home runs.
I don't think you ever worried about whether Mike Schmidt was going to hit 300. You were just worried about those home runs more than anything else.
Oh, on the contrary.
Really?
Oh, no, he wanted to be, and wanted to be known as a 300 hitter. Mike was a perfectionist in terms of all-around play.
I know he worried about it. I'm saying as a fan.
Oh, no doubt.
You just wanted him to hit home runs.
Oh, without a doubt.
And Ryan moves the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the one year, though, when he did hit that 300 with this shortened, which was a strike year, he did have 30 home runs. That year, he might have hit 50 home runs the way that he was going and hitting the ball. So it made it so easy to hit in front of him, especially when he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
There goes Utley. The pitch is taken high, and no throw by Schneider. And now David Wright's got to race over to third because he knows Chase will try to race him to that bag. And that is the 8th stolen base of the year for Chase without being caught. And the count 3-2 now to Ryan.
Oh, has a decent jump there as he takes a look. He knows he has it. Well, once he gets there, he decides, well, I might try and take it. His right takes off.
And Ryan pulls it foul, so he's still alive out in front of a 69-mile-an-hour curveball.
Now, that's just a slow pitch. That's a hard pitch to hit, even though it's that slow, because you're usually geared for a little bit harder. Hernandez has a lot of confidence in throwing that pitch, even though he's down 7-0. Just doesn't seem to get worried on the mound, and veteran pitchers usually don't.
Ball 4, and Ryan walks for the second time in the game. Well, the Phillies have had some really good at-bats tonight against Livan Hernandez, and Jason Worth had one of those real good at-bats, and it was back in the 3rd inning, Sarge.
Yeah, he muscled this ball out. Ball coming in, and you can see him getting his hands through. That's what you call a vicious swing, and that's after striking out with the bases loaded, and you do carry that, but to come back in fine fashion to be able to hit the ball the way he did, you got to like that.
So runners on first and second, nobody out. Phillies lead it 7-0. They've scored in every inning so far. And they're trying to do the same here in the 4th. As Pat Mish is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Mets.
Kind of offense Phillies like to have, and hopefully this will get them to hitting the ball the way that they should.
That's the thing. I mean, they need a game like this where they can keep tacking on some runs, get some guys feeling better about themselves going into this homestand, and then, you know, reel off some wins during this homestand.
And really, the key is, like you had mentioned earlier, having good at bats. When you have good at bats, good things are going to happen. But if you're swinging at first pitches and not squaring them up, just takes away from you.
That's high. 3-1 now to Jason.
Hernandez trying to tease him and get him to swing at that ball there.
See the difference between the home numbers and the road numbers. Not only the win-loss record, but also the overall team batting average, the amount of runs scored per game. Nearly one more on the road on average than here at home. And tonight they've scored 7 runs. And he lays off ball 4. The bases are loaded. And it seems like we've been saying that a lot tonight. Back-to-back walks issued by Livan Hernandez. And here comes Jerry Manuel. And that may be it for the big right-hander. And that's going to be it. Mish has been up and loosening in the bullpen for the Mets. And Jerry Manuel's already made the signal. So the Phillies up 7-0. They have the bases loaded with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Livan Hernandez to the showers very early. That is a good line if you're a Phillies fan. 3+ 10 hits, 7 earned runs, and all 3 runners are his responsibility. Phillies fans loving it here in South Philadelphia. Back on their feet. Log on to MLB.com or welcomebackveterans.org for more information on how you can help. Well, one way we know you can help is to purchase some of those hats that are for sale at the Majestic Clubhouse store, the Stars and Stripes hats. And Livan Hernandez, well, he leaves with a bad taste in his mouth because the Phillies have put 7 runs on the board on 10 hits so far. Nobody out with the bases loaded. And Pat Mish, the former San Francisco Giant, is on for the Mets. He's pitched in 9 games so far for New York. And San Francisco, he's got an ERA of 5.40, and he's on to face Greg Dobbs.
A rare opportunity for Greg Dobbs to be able to hit against a left-hander. A lot of times Charlie would elect to bring in a right-handed hitter. In this case, it'd probably be young John Mayberry Jr., but he's letting him hit with the bases loaded, which then scores 7-0.
And he bounces it back to the mound. They got a play at the plate, and they've got another play at first. A 1-2-3 double play, and there are 2 away. So Yvonne now has watched 2 outs very quickly be put on the board. And Sarge, I guess that's why you were talking about maybe pinch hitting a right-hander there, because you can kind of go for the jugular with the bases loaded and nobody out.
And just because of the way they've been scoring runs, there's nothing against Dobbs' ability to check this pitch out, probably out over the plate. And you see the breaking ball. He comes off that ball. If he stays with it and hits it to left, he'd hit it harder. But that's just automatic there. 1, 2, 3.
Well, now they're going to intentionally walk Pedro Feliz to load up the bases. And the Phillies obviously have options at the catching position. right-handed, but I guess you don't want to take your catcher out because he's done such a good job with Lopez.
Yeah, that's a very good point there, and you can see the rapport with them where they're just about right on the same page there with Lopez.
And the Phillies are comfortably up 7-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, if it was later during the ball game, 6th or 7th, and maybe I'm sure they would probably pinch hit for Paco, but they would have pinch hit for Dobbs. It all depends on how that score is.
So Charlie's got the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Paul Paco has doubled and scored a run tonight. He's also struck out. Paco is 3 for 10 in a Phillies uniform.
Really the worst double play you could actually hit in. I mean, if you're going to hit in one, you'd rather it be around the horn or 6-4-3. Therefore, you end up scoring a run.
Right. Paco pulls it on the ground to Tatis. That should be the inning, and the Phils strand the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's a pretty good job by Pat Mish in relief of Liban Hernandez, whose night is done. Phillies lead it 7-0 as we go to the 5th. Working with a 7-run lead, will go to work against the bottom of the order for New York. It'll be 8-9-1 with Brian Schneider leading things off. And Sarge, you brought up a point before about the Mets not being familiar with Rodrigo Lopez, and that has worked to the advantage of the veteran right-hander and the Phillies tonight. And I wonder how long it takes for a lineup to get used to a pitcher who they haven't seen in quite some time.
A couple of bats. Again, that's why it's important that you're not going up first pitch swinging when you haven't seen a pitcher before.
And of everybody that's in this lineup for the New York Mets, Schneider has seen Lopez 6 times now, including that walk his last time up. And that's a good pitch. He got him to turn over on one. And with 2 pitch, 1 away here in the 5th inning. And this is how it began, Sarge.
Well, just check out some of the defense here. Right on himself, a line drive. Fastball, which was right by him. Look at the movement, however, that he's getting on his pitches. But again, his demeanor's great. He's not coming off of there smiling or laughing because he does know there's a long way to go.
Well, the other thing, too, about Lopez is that, last year he pitched in just 3 games for the Atlanta Braves in the minor leagues, coming back from Tommy John surgery. So, you know, for this guy who's 33 now, I mean, this is a big deal to get back to the big leagues.
Absolutely. And usually with the Tommy John surgery, you come back a little bit stronger, or there have been pitchers that were throwing even harder. Kerry Wood used to be with the Chicago Cubs, now closer for the Cleveland Indians. That was what happened with him.
Well, that'll find the first row of seats, or maybe the second row of seats behind the Phillies dugout. 2-2 the count to Mish. Yep, she ducked, covered her head. Guy with Penn State hat and shirt on dropped it, and the gentleman behind him was the one that was able to pop it out of the air. And there's a called strike three, third strikeout for Lopez. And 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, it could give the club just a good shot in the arm if he can continue to pitch this way, and that's what you like. You have a pitcher that comes up, don't know what he's going to do, and then he starts to throw the ball the way he does, especially against the New York Mets.
Well, you always say that the first game of a series is the most important one to win. It just sets the tone for the rest of the series. But
sure does.
I think even it's accentuated even more with all the struggles the Phillies have had over the last month or so.
Well, when you don't win that first game, it's just like not having any hits that whole game. The next day, it's just a little bit more pressure to get a hit or to get a victory.
In the air to left field down the line. Dobbs on the run. Does he have room? He does, and he makes the catch in foul territory. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets here at the top of the 5th. Lopez has retired 5 in a row as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Lead. Then in the second inning, or excuse me, the third inning, well, Chase Utley, a line drive to right. That's his RBI that gave the Phillies a 4-0 lead. That was actually in the second inning. Then in the third, here's Jason Worth, a towering home run to left field. Solo shot. And then Jimmy Rollins drove in 2 more to cap off the scoring. So 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Here is Jason. And Rodrigo Lopez is the batter against Pat Nish. Lopez is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to him. So so many folks talk about the correlation to last year for the Phillies, that at this point a season ago they were in first place and set a few game lead over the Florida Marlins. You know, Jimmy Rollins was hitting at this point last year. He's hitting tonight. Ryan Howard was just starting to churn a little bit at this point last year. I mean, there were a lot of similarities between this year and last year. What do you see that's different, if anything?
Well, I mean, first of all, you're number one. You could always count on Cole Hamels there in pitching and getting you into that seventh inning. Brett Myers pitched, I thought, very well. Lights out for Lidge, and if Lidge was pitching the same way, where would this club be?
Right.
I mean, maybe another 6 victories. I mean, period. So, you know, looking at it that way, and you're seeing Jamie Moyer, that's just what's so good about this game, that you can't do the same thing every year. You're trying to duplicate it if you've had a great year, but no one's just going to beat up everybody for 162. As Lopez, see you later on a breaking ball.
Well, I think it's a good point about Lidge. I mean, you know, he didn't blow a save all year last year. And Brad so far obviously has struggled. He's been injured. The bullpen as a whole was outstanding last year, and they're still kind of trying to find their way here in 2009. They made a move today with Rodrigo Lopez being activated. They designated Jack Tashner for assignment. Charlie's had to deal with the injury to Raul Ibanez. He didn't have to deal with Pat Burrell being injured last year, who was playing left field for the Phillies. You know, Jamie Moyer at this point, I think, had won 8 games going into the All-Star break last year. And, you know, so there are differences.
And the consistency, though, at the top of the lineup gave the guys in the middle of the lineup, 3, 4, 5 guys who drive in runs, and they were on a lot more doubles, triples, you know, walks, and it's taken J-Ro a time to really get it going. There's plenty of time that's left in the season, and again, you play 162, so you don't want a lot of luck involved with it. You want the ability to come out, and Queen rises to the top.
Check swing, line drive caught by Murphy. First at bat for Jimmy from the right side of the plate. Well, in addition to the move that we mentioned with Jack Tashner being designated for assignment, Brett Myers has been transferred to the 60-day DL. And by doing that, they open up a 40-man roster spot for Rodrigo Lopez. And you figure Brett was not due to come off the disabled list and help this squad, if he can at all, until sometime in September.
Yeah, and that's an injury that they won't rush, because he does have to get his arm back in shape after he gets his legs in shape, so it could take a while.
Well, Victorino's 2 for 3 tonight. He has singled. He's also tripled and scored 2 runs.
Victorino been very consistent this year with his average, hitting the ball, keeping it out of the air for the most part. Last year he hit a lot of pop-ups. This year keeping the ball on the ground and line drives, and that's just better concentration. Learning that center field, plays a good center field out in center field.
Well, he pops this one up. And over the left side of the infield, Cora is there, and the inning is over. So for the first time tonight, the Phillies are retired in order. We've played 5, and the Phillies are enjoying a 7-0 lead. Consistency equals accomplishment in baseball, and the Phillies' second baseman has consistently been the offensive team leader in 2009. Even when the team has struggled, Chase has delivered on a regular basis and has delivered in the clutch. His production and on-field leadership will land him in his 4th consecutive All-Star game. And it is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, tonight, Chase has a couple hits, 2 RBIs for the Phils, and they lead it 7-0 as we get set for the top of the 6th inning. The Fanatics skit went a little longer than anticipated, so that's why there's a little bit of a delay. He just knocked out somebody with a Mets tattoo and a Mets hat on backwards down on the field. Daniel Murphy leads it off for New York here in the top of the 6th, and he takes one inside. Rodrigo Lopez has been front running tonight since the bottom of the 1st inning when the Phillies gave him a 3-0 lead.
Well, get a chance to relax a little and you get a big lead. The pitcher coming in from AAA, even though he does have major league experience, you always question yourself on whether or not you can pitch back in the major leagues or whether or not you can hit if you're an everyday player.
Well, Lopez, during his time with the Orioles, won 60 games, lost 58, at an ERA that was just under 5 at 4.72. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, even when he went to Colorado, Sarge, after his time with Baltimore was over with, he went 5-4. That was 2 years ago, 2007, but that's when the arm problem started. Pulled towards second, and an easy play for Chase Utley. Oh, it is a gorgeous night here at the ballpark. The breeze coming from left to right. And it's a sold-out crowd, standing room only. And they find many different spots to stand and watch this game. David Wright is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's popped out. And it's 0-1.
David has a lot of pressure on himself with so many guys that are out. Everything is great with the season so far, except for those power numbers.
Well, a lot of that is due to the ballpark that he plays in. I mean, it is as pitcher friendly a park as there is in the league.
Yeah, and really, to be quite honest, that ball that Jason hit probably is not out of the ballpark there in New York.
Ooh, Jim Joyce flinched. David Wright flinched. And Rodrigo Lopez wanted the flinching to continue.
Yeah, one of the reasons, too, I think they should be able to hit better here. It's just such a great hitting ballpark for the guys. You can see the ball well. You know, ball carries. You hit the ball on the line. You can't try and hit home runs here, though. You try and hit line drives, you'll have a lot better success.
Nice play by that gentleman. And oh, happy day for that youngster. In the air down the right field line. Ryan Howard's going to give it a look, but it's going to be back into the seats. Ryan was out early today, taking some extra batting practice. Did she catch it in her purse, or did somebody else catch it ahead of her?
Well, she was a little upset because she didn't get the ball. I think she really wanted that ball. Well, usually a gentleman will give that ball up. They like the balls, I guess, just like everyone else. Sure, you would have given it up, Tommy.
If there was a kid around, I would have.
No, that was a lady, Tommy.
I don't know if I would have given it to a lady.
You're kidding.
I don't know if I would have.
I would have automatically given her the ball. You got to be kidding me. Now, I may not have given her any of those ribs. She definitely should have that baseball.
I got too many people following me, Sarge, that are much smaller than I am that would want the ball ahead of the ladies.
Oh, really? Now? Okay.
Yeah. And David Wright is down on strikes for the second time in this ball game. 4 strikeouts for Lopez. And the Phillies fans tonight are loving it.
Well, it's just a good cutter. It seemed to be going away from Wright after ball's down in the zone. Look at that. Baco doesn't even have to move his glove as he hits the glove on the outside corner. Again, location, location, location.
Lopez now with 2 outs, and he has to deal with Gary Sheffield, who's 1 for 2. Phillies play Sheffield to pull, and he went with a little soft stuff there. Took a little off that fastball. That came in at 89. Must be the movement, because it looked like it had, they were trying to get Sheffield off balance.
Yeah, that ball on the outside corner is coming back. As a hitter, you just give up on it once you see it on the outside, and then it tails back. You hit the outside part of the plate.
1-1 the count.
Got it up to 90. Then he throws a little bit of a cutter there. Usually, though, if he does come in, he'll usually come in late to try and fool the hitter. Looks like he's coming in now. That's how you can tell whether or not hitters have slowed down, even though Sheffield has 10 home runs and 31 RBIs. That's decent for a guy not starting, but that fastball inside that's 90, he used to turn that ball around. Always wiggling the bat. That's just to get his timing. Then he usually stops.
And he gets him to pop it up. A little cue shot on the right side. Ryan Howard is there, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. 8 in a row retired by Lopez. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Chase Utley will lead things off for the Phillies. Angus burgers made with juicy 100% Angus beef, available with premium toppings in 3 varieties for just $3.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Well, a beautiful night here in South Philadelphia. Hope you're enjoying the start of your holiday weekend wherever you are. I'm sure the beaches are going to be mobbed this weekend. Weather's supposed to be great. Well, things are great so far for the Phils. They lead at 7-0 as we begin the bottom of the 6th. And Chase Utley, 2 for 2 today with a sacrifice fly, couple RBIs. And they're down 0-1 to him.
Well, it happened last year too. I mean, these guys, they seem to get their backs against the wall and then they come back fighting, clawing, and scratching. Well, again, they do have just really a real good team. And when they're hitting, they're just tough ball club to beat. So many weapons.
Well, he's retired for the first time tonight. And Pat Mish has done a nice job in relief of Livan Hernandez. Came out with nobody out and the bases loaded in the fourth inning. Got a 1-2-3 double play. And then got Paul Bacco to ground out. And then retired the Phillies in order in the fifth, and now has the first out here in the sixth. It's funny, Sarge, you say that the Phillies have had their backs against the wall the last couple of years and have won the division and won a world championship. You do get used to playing that way, I guess.
Well, you'd rather have a lead.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. They're not going out just trying to do that. The good thing about them is that they can pick themselves up off the mat and start playing like champions. Well, again, they do have the team. Just need certain guys on the team have better at bats and play good defense.
That one's back toward the middle, and it's scooped up by David Wright, and he throws out Ryan Howard. It'll be 5-3 on the putout and 2 outs. Well, it's Tuesday when the Phillies take on the Reds, and Dusty Baker. All fans 14 and under will receive a free Phillies beach towel featuring Jimmy Rollins, Cole Hamels, Ryan Howard, and Chase Utley. That's all compliments of Verizon. You can hurry, order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. There's that beach towel to the right there. Two away for Jason Worth. He's homered. He struck out. He walked his last time up. You know, the other thing about this division too, Sarge, is we just left Atlanta, and to me, and maybe this is because they swept the Phillies in 3 straight games, they look like they're going to be a tough team for the rest of the year. Now others around the league saying, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, we can only go on exactly the way that they play against the Phillies. If they got guys that are hurt, they get a few guys back. Chipper starts hitting, they can beat just about anyone too. I mean, it's going to be a tough division. I just don't think anybody's going to run away with it because the parity is just so close. You know, not Toronto, but Florida plays this club as tough as any club in the division.
Well, Jason's down on strikes. Second strikeout of the inning for Mish. Phillies are retired in order here in the 6th inning. So we played 6. The Phillies still hanging on to that 7-0 lead.
His offense looks a little bit better when Jimmy Rollins is running around the bases making things happen. That's what happened right out of the chute tonight. The Phillies with 7 early runs had shot at more. Bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't score. But Chase Utley, a good game. Jason Worth, and of course Jimmy Rollins has been a table setter, Tom.
Well, and Greg Dobbs back toward the gap in left center field. He's not going to get that one. And Ryan Church is going to have a leadoff double here in the top of the 7th inning. Only the 4th hit allowed by Rodrigo Lopez. As you looked at that Verizon Wireless game summary, you also saw the number of hits that Lopez has allowed tonight. Tack on one more, and boy, he's been really good this evening.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to get to Lopez on the Verizon Wireless game summary. I'd like to thank Dallas Green for bringing my binoculars back. Left them outside, and he just brought them back in the booth. There is Rodrigo Lopez, and Phillies will finally get somebody up. They haven't had to have everybody up tonight, as Chano Park will start to throw. Dallas Green, who managed both these teams.
Yes, he did, include and also managed the other team in New York.
That's true. That's right. He managed the Yankees too.
Fernando Tatis is 1 for 2. He singled his first time up, popped out to right his last time to the plate. Pulled toward third. Feliz has got it. He looks Church back to the bag, and there's one away.
I want to see why this guy's been successful tonight. Strikes and moving the ball around. You could see it in the first couple innings that he was on the corners. He doesn't throw it down the middle of the plate. At least he's not tonight. And he's got good movement, and he throws strikes. Here's another. Look at this thing move, and it moved towards Tatis. When he swung at it, it was in the middle of the plate. When he hit it, it was coming towards him. And he jammed himself.
Well, and his splits are great too. 32 balls, 57 strikes.
Yeah, and the strikes, Tom, are on corners.
Nick Evans fouls one off his foot.
Yeah, there's another pitch on a corner. You know, pitching is so much about changing speed and locations, and velocity is necessary. But if you can do some things like that, and he's been very efficient, he hasn't had a 20 pitch inning. In the scouting report tonight, it was like, who knows what you're going to get. We're getting a really good outing from this guy tonight. They got him runs, and he's done a good job to this point front running with it.
Yeah, Charlie has always said that he'd like to be like Big Brown last year in the horse racing business. Well, tonight his team has been like Big Brown, and they are front running.
Yep.
In the air to right center field, pretty deep. Jason Worth is back into the alley. He's not going to get it. It's off the top of the wall. Church hung up, and now he's around third, heading for home. And the throw will be held onto by Chase Utley. It's an RBI double by Evans, and the Mets are on the board. I have to admit, Wheels, that's one of the first times I think I've seen a ball hit the top of the wall like that and shoot up.
Yeah. And they're going to, you know, Jerry Manuel is going to come out. The umpires are going to confer and see what they think happened. The wind really took that thing as the ball's been flying to right and right center. There's Jim Joyce, who had that non-call here last time when they wouldn't go to the replay. Let's see where it hits.
Oh, this is going to be a great shot.
We've been waiting for this.
Yes,
Tom.
we have. This is a perfect shot. Right off the top of the wall.
Boink.
No, if they look at it and if they decide to.
Oh, that was great. We were talking about that,
yep.
You know, wanting to see it. It hit the padding and then the fence, and that's what made it come back so quickly.
Now, I said that, you know, we haven't seen many balls hit there since this park opened. I mean, what I mean by that is just seeing it hit the wall, shoot straight up like that.
Well, watch what it does. It hits right there on the padding, and then it, as you said, shot straight back up off that screen and then back into play. Here it is again, off the padding, and then shoots up, and I think it touched the screen there, or whatever that is, and that kicked it back into play. But it's definitely a good call by the umpires.
So Jerry Manuel back to the dugout. 7-1 Phillies here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 out.
Mets have had a bunch of those this year, and they've all gone in their favor when they use the replay.
0-1 the count to Schneider. Jeremy Reed is in the on-deck circle for the Mets. So he'll pinch hit for Pat Mish, who did a nice job tonight in relief of Livan Hernandez. There's Reed.
He came in the bases loaded, no outs, and got out of it.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves are leading the Nationals 8-5. Who the heck is Brooks Conrad? He had a 3-run home run tonight for Atlanta.
He wasn't with him last night.
No, he wasn't. They must have put McLeod on the DL or something.
That would make sense.
1-2 the count.
Well, they're certainly glad they brought him up.
At least for tonight they are. Nationals had the lead in that game too, and nothing's ever safe with them.
Yeah, well, that's been their story all year. They score runs and get the lead in a lot of games. They just can't hold people.
1-2 the count to Brian Schneider, Northampton, Pennsylvania native, and he hits one off the hands right past the dive of Feliz down the left field line. It's going to be an RBI for Schneider, and the ball is touched by a fan. And the Phillies lead is now at 5, 7-2. Sam Arnone, who's the Phillies ball girl down the left field line, she got out of the way rather quickly. And I believe that gentleman must have interfered.
Yeah. And he made a good pitch there on Brian Schneider, and give Schneider credit. They're playing him off the line because he's more of a pull hitter than anything. And he just squirted it right past Pedro Feliz and down the line. Here's a look at it. Jammed him. And that thing is spinning like a top in the opposite direction towards the line. Now, take a look in here and see what happens. That guy in the red cap reaches over, and now it's a ground rule double.
There comes Charlie Manuel out to the mound. And that's probably going to be it for Rodrigo Lopez. 96 pitches for Lopez, and he has done his job tonight. 6 1/3, and the crowd is already starting to stir. Charlie's looking to take the baseball, and he does. He signals to Chan Ho Park, and look at this reaction from the sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. All part of this sold-out crowd that really responded well when Rodrigo Lopez was taken out of this ball game. They appreciated the effort tonight, the strikes that he threw. He may have tired a little bit here in the top of the 7th inning, although he's threw some pretty good pitches in this inning. But the Mets have 3 doubles against him, and now they've made this a 7-2 game. So Lopez will give way to right-hander Chan Ho Park, who will face Jeremy Reed, who's pinch hitting for Pat Mish, who threw 3 scoreless innings for the Mets. And Reed takes a breaking ball for strike one, and Reed hitting .282 this year. See Park's numbers. His last appearance was in game one of that series against the Braves, and Chipper Jones was raving about Chan Ho Park after that ball game, even though he lost the game.
Well, he's done very well in this role, and he's given them innings too. That's the thing about it. He hasn't been a situation guy necessarily. Right now they just want to stop the New York momentum because they scored a couple because they have 3 extra base hits in this inning.
I thought Lopez didn't walk anybody tonight.
Yep. That's what we're talking about.
I'm sorry, he walked one.
He walked one, struck
yep.
out 3 with the strikes that he was throwing. And you know, even in this inning, that last ball hit by Schneider was a good pitch that he made.
There's Lopez talking to Jamie Moyer. And he gets Reed. Oh, nope, he got a piece of it. And Baco's going to head out to the mound for a moment. I thought Reed swung past that one. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. See Jamie Moyer talking to Rodrigo Lopez there on the bench, and you know JB's had those conversations with guys before, like Antonio Bastardo and Cole Hamels. You know, once they leave the ball game, and I've talked to Jamie about that, and he says sometimes he feels like it's the best time to have those conversations while it's fresh in guys' minds. On the inside corner, that's a little paint right there. 2 away.
Good fastball. After he'd almost struck him out with that breaking ball that he fouled off. And Chan Ho Park made a good pitch with a fastball, Jeremy Reed. Here it is. It looked like one of those runners. And it was. See, it started towards him, and then it runs over the plate, and that just freezes a left-handed hitter, and that was a strike.
Now Alex Cora, who is 0 for 3, and the game began on a good note when he lined one right back to Lopez for the first out of the ball game. Schneider's on second, one of 3 doubles in this inning for the Mets. And that conversation is ongoing. I don't know what it is, Wheels, but his ball has so much more movement out of the bullpen than it did as a starter.
Well, that was a breaking ball there, and he threw it behind in the count and got it over. When sometimes when you come out and start, you save stuff. When you come out of the bullpen, get after him right away. You start firing it, and he seems to be doing that out of the bullpen.
Did he go? The appeal? Oh, yeah, he did. Adrian Johnson punches him out. Alex Cora is down on strikes. Good breaking ball from Chan Ho Park. Back-to-back strikeouts finishes up this 7th inning. The Mets do get 2, but the Phillies will stretch with a 5-run lead. is answer. Who holds the Mets record for most hits in consecutive official at-bats? Now, Wheels, there are two answers, two correct answers. I forgot to tell you that before. So you can get one or the other, and we'll give you credit.
You mean two guys have done it?
Yeah, two guys have done it.
The exact same?
Yeah.
Give me a decade.
Decade of the 90s.
Well, that blew that. I have no idea. I was going to throw a crazy name like Bud Harrelson out because when I mentioned Millan, you said, so it's an infielder, though, right?
Two infielders, in fact.
Okay.
Two very different infielders.
Go ahead.
Jose Vizcaino and John Olerud in 96 and 98. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge. Stump the fans.
I mean, they have 9 hits. So.
Yeah. Everybody in the booth is shaking their head at John DeSangro, who comes up with that question. That's a tough one.
Yeah, well, it's good, though. You learn something.
Yeah. John, I think it's good that you make everybody think a little bit.
If he repeats it, I might get it.
Here's Greg Dobbs leading it off against Bobby Parnell, and he fouls the first one into the glove on a bunt attempt. I guess he was trying to draw the corners in. I don't think they're going to come in.
Go ahead. You analyze that one. You know,
element of surprise. Wheels, element of surprise.
Got a hard throwing right-hander against a guy who can hit the ball. You know, extra base hits it. He'd probably like him to swing here.
And he does swing, and he's down on the count 0-2. Well, Bobby Parnell in his 40th game, 2-3, 5.22 ERA. The year started out well for him, but he struggled lately, particularly against left-handers.
You know, Phillies got him a little bit up in New York, and he throws real hard. And I think that pitch got Schneider because they're taking a little bit of time right now. The umpire Joyce walked out to the mound, so that ball must have tipped Brian Schneider back there. This guy has a tremendous arm, does Bobby Parnell.
And a called strike 3, 97 miles an hour, and one away.
Well, there you go, 97. That's a pretty good arm. But you know, he got hurt. Phillies hurt him with some pitches in the middle of the plate. It doesn't matter how hard you throw it if you throw it down the middle. Now this one was a runner coming back towards the middle, and it's kind of like what Park threw last inning. He kind of froze Dobbs there.
Took a little off that one. In fact, 10 miles an hour difference to Feliz, who in tonight's ball game has a base hit and one official at bat. He's also scored a run. He's been walked intentionally and walked traditionally. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
One thing about Pedro, he's been in a little bit of a funk, but he's walking a lot more this year. Running more deep counts.
Well, and also as we zero in on the midway point of the season, and he has 40 RBIs.
Without a lot of homers.
He's one of 5 Phillies hitters with 40 RBIs or more this season. You know, and Shane Victorino has 34. Jimmy has 29. There's no doubt Philly's been able to score runs this year. A few hops to Cora. And Parnell's quickly got 2 away here in the 7th inning. Well, it's not too early to think about the month of August and your upcoming Phillies schedule. So the Chicago Cubs will be in town beginning July 20th at 7:05. It's the start of a 3-game series. It wraps up on the 22nd with a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And a Modell Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. 2 outs. Paul Bacco's the batter. Phillies leading at 7-2. Busy night at the ballpark for not only the fans but also the vendors. I'll tell you what, it was really busy out at Bulls tonight when we did that open.
It should be. That's good stuff.
Oh, it's great stuff.
Ooh.
1's not enough. 2 is even better.
That's party hardy.
When in Rome, Will. When in Rome, Will.
Yeah. Well, that's a partying area out there. I guess that was Ashburn Alley, wasn't it?
It was Ashburn Alley, yeah.
So, you know, that's a great place to have a good time out there.
Two and two the count to Baco.
This place is so beautiful anyway on a night like this. A clear night, see the city, see the lights in the city. And you look at the ballpark and you see how, you know, it's packed. And there's Bull's Barbecue back there down the right field line. This place just looks so nice. Never get tired of it. We are really lucky.
Well, it was a couple weeks ago. There was a national writer who talked about this place, you know, being as happening as, let's say, Wrigley Field or some of the other ballparks around the league that have become just places to go and meet other people. Baco sends one down the left field line. Let's get a slice foul.
Well, they had the 500 standing room only tickets, and they were gone quickly tonight.
And they'll be gone tomorrow quickly and Sunday quickly. And by the end of this weekend, since tonight is the 29th sellout of the year, 31 sellouts here at this ballpark.
Well, we've seen a lot of the new ballparks in New York. They're both nice. This one is really special. This is so fan friendly.
Baco chops one right side. Murphy, with his head pitched out toward right, scoops it up, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. So the Phillies are retired in order here in the 7th. We've played 7, and the Phillies lead it by 5. Enjoyed this Phillies offense tonight, but they also enjoyed the pitching of Rodrigo Lopez, who went 6 1/3, allowed 6 hits and 2 runs. And Rodrigo joins us now from down in the clubhouse. And Rodrigo, Tom McCarthy, and Chris Wheeler, congratulations on your effort tonight. I guess you felt pretty good out there.
Yeah, thanks for the comments. Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been a while since I was in this kind of atmosphere. You know, but feel pretty good. Trying to stay in the game as long as possible, and well, you know, I got good support from our offense, and well, pretty happy about it.
Hey, Rodrigo, I was the one that came out and got you tonight. They said Charlie wanted to talk to you, Charlie Manuel. What did he say to you before you went out to warm up?
Well, pretty much, you know, he gave me the welcome and said, you know, you've been working pretty hard, so it's good to have you here. And, you know, he said, you know, keep doing what you've been doing. I see you pitch before, and, you know, just do the same thing. So I was trying to do the same thing.
Now, he also gave you some advice before you batted for the first time today. What was he telling you then?
Yeah, he just told me hit a fastball. You know, that I'm probably going to see a lot of breaking balls from the band, and, you know, he just said, you know, stay with the fastball and try to hit the fastball. And,
hey, you look like you really were hitting your spots tonight. Is that what you try to do?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way I pitch. You know, I survive keeping the ball down and keeping my spot. I think during the game in the first and second inning, I think the two-seam fastball he was running little too much, missing the plate. But you know, with the game going on, I think I was able more to stay on the plate and you know, and it worked fine.
I know you want to stay up here if you can, Rodrigo, but with everything you've gone through over the last year plus with the Tommy John surgery and fighting back and pitching in the minor leagues, how satisfying was it to get back into a big league uniform?
I know that's like, you know, pretty good. You know, I've been working since 07, since I got my surgery. You know, in my mind I was trying to come back in about a year, come back in the big leagues, but definitely wasn't possible. And, you know, hard to find a job in the offseason. I finally feel it's given me the chance. And while I was trying to take advantage, started in Lehigh Valley, trying to work with Rod. Rod helped me a lot down there. And, you know, that's I'm feeling, you know, I feel pretty good to be back here. I think it's been a long way. Well,
congratulations tonight, Rodrigo. And you just missed a fantastic double play that Chan-Ho Park got David Wright to bounce into. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning, and go enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
You got it. Rodrigo Lopez, who tonight was, well, he was really good for the Phillies, and he brought up a couple of good points, Wheels. That question you asked him about, you know, the pitches he was throwing. I mean, he really had some really good movement on his pitches.
Yeah, and he kept it out of the middle of the plate, Tom. And, you know, that's easy to say. Well, hit your spots, keep it out of the middle of the plate, and then it's tough to go do it. Hey, this inning, you know, we're talking to Rodrigo, and John Mayberry made a nice play on that ball off the wall, and he kept Murphy at first base.
Set up that double play.
Sets up the double play. You know, little things like that are the things that the Phillies have really not been doing well consistently. And when you do those kind of things, you really have a chance to be a better team.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. 2-0 the count to Gary Sheffield. And now 3 balls and no strikes. Sheffield tonight is 1 for 3. He's grounded out, he's singled, and he's popped out. Ball 4, and Sheffield's aboard. Well, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Chan-Ho Park will now face Ryan Church with Sheffield on first base.
Phillies are warming J.C. Romero up in the bullpen.
They had Ryan Matson up at one point before the start of this inning. And there's J.C. Ryan's in the background there, sitting down. And the first pitch to Church is a strike, so it's 0-1.
And one more left-handed hitter on their bench, and Martinez, and a couple switch hitters, and Castillo and Argenis Reyes. Santos, the pure right-handed hitter, is also available for the Mets. Chan-Ho Park fastballs consistently in the mid-90s now. The low 90s. 92, 3, 4 in that area. Since he's gone back to the bullpen. It feels like he comes in, he airs it out.
I just like the movement too, as that one shoots off the glove of Chase Utley. He'll track it down. Sheffield is trying for third. Here's the throw by Chase. It is not in time. Adrian Johnson almost called that one before Feliz even looked up. And the Mets with runners on first and third. I'd like to see that one again. I thought maybe they had him.
Boy, if they had to. What a bad base run and play by Sheffield, down by 5 runs. And making a play that close at third base. You know, it's okay now because he's safe, but they had to be in the dugout. They had to be going, no, no, no. Good play.
Well, Rich Doobie is going to go to the phone here.
Here it is. Chase, I think he jumped a little too high. It looked like he got a lot of glove on that. He wasn't able to control it, but now he comes and makes a throw in a hurry, and Sheffield beats him.
Yeah, he did beat it. His foot was in there.
But it's close, and you know, Tom, when you're down by that much, it can't be close.
Now Pedro kept his glove on the leg of Sheffield as the one glove popped off. Jim Joyce has joined the meeting there between Chase Utley and the pitcher, Chan-Ho Park, and the rest of the infielders. See that shot? It looked like Jim Joyce was just leaning in, listening a little bit.
I won't tell anybody, but let's go. Well, that's part of their job, the home plate umpire's job that they do when they change some things around a few years ago. You watch them, they go out pretty quickly now, try and break up mound conferences.
2 away. Tatis is the batter. That double play is huge right now as he delivers a pitch in tight. 1-0.
And Madsen's gotten back up.
See Fernando Tatis with those 2 home runs lifetime against Park. Both were grand slams. Both took place in the same inning.
Same inning.
And they are trying to work the inside part of the plate, and they get the strike there. 1-1.
There's Madsen. That was when Park was a Dodger and Tatis was a third baseman for the Cardinals.
Rodrigo Lopez got Tatis to swing at the first pitch a few times tonight. In the air to right field, not deep. Worth is there. And Chan-Ho Park's going to work out of a little bit of a jam here in the 8th inning. He strands 2. And the Phillies, as they get sent to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, still with a 5-run lead. Rewinds. Here we go, baby. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Last of the 8th inning here at Philadelphia. Elmer descends, the new pitcher for the Mets. With the Phillies leading at 7-2. They scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings of this game in front of a crowd of 45,231. Another sellout in this great ballpark. 29th sellout of the year. And Matt Stairs will pinch hit for Chan-Ho Park. Nice job by Chan-Ho Park. He allowed a couple of base runners in this outing, but did a good job of working out of some potential jams. And 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Stairs. Off the end of the bat, a flare to left field. Nick Evans is playing awfully deep, but it hangs up there for him. 1 away. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. by your local Chevy dealers, and by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. You must be 18 or older to play, and please play responsibly. Phillies offense has gone quiet as the Mets bullpen has retired 11 consecutive batters.
There are a lot of Major League players from Mexico. Or you have another pitcher from Mexico in this game tonight. Albert Ascend is from Hermosillo.
This guy's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, he was a starting pitcher for a bunch of teams. The Phillies used to see him a lot.
Cincinnati, Kansas City. The list goes on and on of the teams he's played for.
Fastball,
San Diego.
Yeah, kind of a fastball slider guy. Shows you everybody needs pitching. Guys hang around long enough to have a chance to get back to the big leagues.
Well, and guys that the guys that have been in the majors before, because not only do teams need some pitching, but they want experienced pitching. They don't always want to go with the young pitchers.
Jimmy just seems to have a better idea of the strike zone right now, too. Of course, that comes with hitting a little bit, but possibly from moving up on the plate. He's covering the outside better.
And he pulls that one. Left side hop for Daniel Murphy. And 2 outs now in the 8th inning. Oh, Tuesday, August 4th. That's right, August. We're talking about the month of August here. Colorado Rockies are in town for a 3-game series. It winds down on Thursday the 6th. That's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special and a Citizens Bank Raul Ibanez Pride of the Phillies poster to all fans after the game. Kids can run the bases thanks to Modell Sporting Goods. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. We've been talking a lot about those Colorado Rockies, and they lead the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the top of the 5th. Ian Stewart has a home run in that ball game. And Colorado is a game behind the Giants, who lead the wild card, 8.5 behind the Dodgers, who lead the West. And the Dodgers be in San Diego tonight. All eyes will not be on Hiroki Kuroda for the Dodgers, but on that guy that's going to be in left field tonight for LA.
Yeah, Manny's back, huh?
Manny's back, and Juan Pierre's on the bench.
And they have a great rivalry, the Dodgers and the Padres. So he'll be getting hooted on pretty good down there in San Diego tonight.
Tapper over the mound. Wright has it. I think Shane would have beat that one anyway. And Victorino's going to go to second base. The Mets kind of fell asleep.
Yeah, Murphy had a brain cramp there after he didn't catch that. He came charging. He came off the bag forward a little bit, trying to cheat a little bit and make that play and get it for David Wright, and he didn't catch the ball, and then he forgot about it.
I would think that's an error on Murphy, because the ball was catchable, but then Daniel Murphy was waiting for Davey Lopes to pick it up.
Yeah, it was like you give him a hit and an error there, huh? We'll see. Here it is. Now watch what Murphy does. He's an inexperienced first baseman. See, he's cheating a little bit. That's what you'll do. You'll try and catch it, come off quickly, and then Shane turns around, sees nobody's there. Schneider was coming up the line, but he had a long way to go to get there.
Well, it is an infield single for Shane Victorino. And they do charge the error to the first baseman, Daniel Murphy. That's his 7th error of the season. So Shane has 3 hits tonight.
Experienced first base, when we talk about cheating on a play like that, they get good at it. And what they'll do is they'll come off just a little quick. And they give the umpire a good look, and boom, they'll bang it. It looked like that's what he was trying to do, only he doesn't know how to do it yet. And he came forward and he boxed the ball.
And the count 2-1 to Chase. You know, it's funny what we've watched the last few weeks, you know, with the Red Sox and the Blue Jays doing these little things against the Phillies. The frustrating part was that the Phillies were, the last few years, the team that took advantage of the other team's mistakes. You know, caught the other team napping. They were never the team that was napping. And tonight, it's the shoe is on the other foot.
Well, they scored some runs early tonight, got great pitching from Rodrigo Lopez, and have a lot of energy in this game.
Yeah. And they've seen, you know, there are 2 plays tonight where they've taken that extra base. The Rollins one and now the Victorino one.
Well, I think there's any doubt, and you know, you go over and over and over, and everybody has their opinions. And I know I'm just echoing Charlie. What he says is Jimmy Rollins makes his team go offensively, and when he's out there creating things on the bases and having that energy that he has, his team will just look better, and he's their leadoff man.
And tonight he's been on base twice. He has scored a run. He's driven in 2. And he's hit the ball hard.
Yeah. And it's on the ground too. Not hitting the ball in the air.
2-2 the count to Chase as that foul ball holds it even.
2 games does not make a slump bust, but it's a good start.
Conversation which usually is between Jimmy and Charlie Manuel looks like it's between Jimmy and Milt Thompson. Chase pulls it right side. Tatis has it, and the inning is over. So the Phillies strand one in scoring position, and we head to the 9th inning. The Phillies lead it 7-2. Ryan Matson will be coming on to try to close the door on this one. And Ryan Matson is on to try to close the door on this one for the Phillies. And hey, listen, this is a good outing for Ryan to come into. His 41st of the year, 2-4 with a 3.46 ERA. Maybe he can come in with a 5-run lead, relax a little bit, and get himself back on track.
Yeah, with a 5-run lead, there's not the pressure right now. The games he's been in Atlanta with a tie game and a 1-run lead, and those games when he's closing, when he struggled a little bit.
Facing Nick Evans to start things off.
He's just been making a lot of mistakes in the middle of the plate, and the hitters have not been missing.
Evans is 1 for 3 tonight. He doubled and drove in a run his last time up, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, just as 2 at-bats doesn't make a slump buster for Jimmy Rollins, 1 game doesn't change things for the Phillies, but it sure makes it look a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, this game's all about confidence. You know, these guys can all play or they wouldn't be here. But confidence in this sport, you know, it can really get between your ears when you're struggling. And You know, that's what Ryan Madson needs. He needs a little shot of confidence. You get some people out, he might feel better.
Well, you can watch this game again tonight at 1:30 a.m. on the Comcast Sportsnet, and tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the Comcast Network. And you'll see Ryan Madson start this 9th inning off with a strikeout of Nick Evans.
Used his changeup effectively there. Some good fastballs. And I think that's Charlie's feeling right now, putting him in this game to try and make him feel a little bit better about himself. See, there he is. He's talking about that at bat right there and what he just saw. He's talking to Pete about it. You know, what he did, how he used his fastball, how he used his changeup.
But he didn't use the cutter at all in that bat.
Well, he's gotten hurt with that cutter to left-handed hitters.
Brian Schneider's 1 for 2 as an RBI. And there's a good fastball at 96 miles an hour. It's 0-1. Well, he doesn't have any logos on, but you would think maybe a Mets fan.
Doesn't look happy.
Nope. Good off-speed pitch there, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last 7 games for Ryan, 9 runs in 6 2/3 innings of work. To the gap in left center field. Mayberry on the run, reaches down and makes the grab. You could just see that one slicing back to John with his big frame. He made a very athletic play. Made a couple good plays tonight.
Yeah, he's a good defensive outfitter, no doubt about it. You said, Tom, the key to that was anticipating the ball slicing back at you from the bat of a left-hander. He did. He let it come to him and then dove and made a terrific play.
And now Fernando Martinez, the pinch hitter, down to the count 0-1. Ryan Madson 2 strikes away, 1 out away from giving the Phillies this victory and keeping them in first place. A 1-hopper spinning to Utley. The ball game is over. A 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning, and a sigh of relief for Ryan Madson as the Phillies win it 7-2 and take game 1 of this 3-game series. All around, an exceptional game for this ball club, no matter how you look at it. On the mound, at the plate, Charlie Manuel's bunch came out swinging, and they came out aggressive to take the first of this 3-game series.